Diversity can be a really beautiful thing on times because cultural diversity is what this YouTube channel has represented. So many people have come from afar and they have believed in Descendants of Zombies with all of their hearts. And upon discovering this YouTube channel and its message, so many people wanted to be a part of it. While I shared in my story with all of you, you guys shared your stories in return, and ultimately that's what brought us that much closer together and made us some of the best of friends. You guys are some of the best friends that I've ever had the honor of making, and I've had the time of my life being a part of your story. And I thank you guys more times than I've remembered for allowing me to be a part of your story, to provide you commentaries on the characters that you've loved and certainly appreciated over time, because we've known forever and always that time is the most precious thing that we have, because we never seem to know how much time we have, so it should be valued. There are so many life lessons in fairy tale stories that have been told over the years, over the generations, and valuable life lessons that we take away from these stories every single time. Descendants of Zombies is the latest franchise to do just that. Tell us stories that we remember, that we never ever forget, that have held a very special place in our heart. Like how Princess Red has gone on to achieve more than her mother ever imagined or thought that she would. And I had the chance to be a part of that. As I watched your favorite stars grow into the superstars they would eventually go on to become and receive the recognition, the praise they would go on to receive, I couldn't feel more proud for them. And I wanted to be a part of their futures. So because I wanted to be a part of their futures, in order for me to be a part of their futures, what I had to do, I knew I had to do this. I had to develop both an understanding and an appreciation for my audience, which a lot of content creators who revolve their content around Descendants of Zombies have never seemed to be able to do. And why do you think that is? Because they can't commentate on Descendants of Zombies. They don't know the first thing about what it means or what it takes to be a Descendants of Zombies fan. You've really got to show up here and you've really got to be to the point. And you've also got to know how to be a really funny guy who tells both serious stories and really funny stories to really allow everybody to experience every emotion in the book. So if I thought I could tell you a story about how I thought my best friend may have been a vampire or my roommate may have been a werewolf, I told you these stories to allow you the chance of experiencing every emotion in the book because that's what mattered to me. And that's really what I wanted to be a part of, allowing you the chance to cry, to laugh, to experience every emotion in the book because you thought of being a fan of Descendants of Zombies as the coolest thing ever. We've all had a favorite character, a favorite moment from these stories, no matter who we are or what our story has always been. We've loved the story of Zed and Addison. We have loved the story of Red and Chloe. We forever loved the story of Mal and Ben and how they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together, regardless of how people felt about them. Because I know the original trilogy received its fair share of criticism, and I wanted to take that away. Within hours of the original premiere of Descendants back in 2015, I remember being on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and several other review websites that reviewed movies that night within hours of Descendants premiere. And I remember reading down through all the critic reviews about how people didn't really want to give this one much of a chance. But I stood my ground and I stayed with this franchise, and from the very first video I ever created about Descendants of Zombies, I knew it had it. And I knew we were going to be a part of something so special. We were going to have a chance to be a part of something that would leave us captivated, that would touch our hearts in so many unbelievable ways. And I've had a chance to be a part of that with all of you. I've loved having the chance to share my story with you, and a story that will go on to touch the hearts of thousands of people. And even with how many people I've already met, I still have so many people to meet that I've obviously looked forward to meeting, because I still had millions of people out there who love Descendants of Zombies with all of their hearts who don't even know this YouTube channel exists. So how I've referred to your phones and your tablets and your computers and your TVs are as beacons of light. So what that basically means is every single time somebody subscribes here to this YouTube channel, it gives somebody out there who may have never seen any of these videos a chance of finding Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh my goodness, I know. But every single time somebody subscribes here, they affect the algorithm in so many unbelievable ways, in ways that you probably never thought of. And it gives somebody a chance out there to be recommended these videos and to join in our conversations. Conversations about Kylie's future and this brand new music video, Carrie Bradshaw, or the upcoming Descendants 5 Wonderland premiere, which I'm really excited to be a part of because for the first time ever, Liamani Segura's character Pink is going to debut. Now Red has a sister, like the lyrics suggest, and Red's world, unexpectedly, has been turned upside down. But even with how her world has been turned upside down, it provides her with a chance to become more widely known and to really experience an out-of-body experience. because for the first time ever, she will develop love interests. She will have a ballad like Dove Cameron's song If Only from the original Descendants. And it's something I'm really excited to be a part of with all of you, because we've never really heard Red have an official ballad with the Descendants soundtrack. But for the first time ever, because of Descendants 5 with Wonderland and its story, she will. And she will have a chance herself to really experience every emotion in the book. For those of you who have been a diehard fan of Kylie Control from the very beginning, from her initial beginnings and her ground roots, you've come to know Kylie Control for being a very appreciative but also a very emotional person who has experienced every emotion in the book because of how people have felt about her. And she has received her fair share of criticism. So one of the sole purposes behind this YouTube channel has always been to encourage people to support Kylie with so much love and support, because I had a special place in my heart forever and always for Kylie Control. And I wanted to be a part of her story. I wanted to give people something to hold on to and believe in, because when they thought this story was over, it never really was. And we could keep on moving forward into a dedicated future with so many loyal people who never wanted to quit on Descendants of Zombies and the character stories. Because every individual character had a story. Either from the original trilogy, of course, Carlos had a story about how he had a fear of dogs because of what his mother instilled in him, or how Jay wanted to be one of the greatest villains of all time, or how Mal just wanted to stand out for the obvious reasons, for being different most of all, and how she valued friendship she never really had, but she would learn to value as time went on. And that's what allowed her to become one of the most iconic and very different Disney villains of all time. One of the very different VKs. And now many years later, over half of a decade later, here comes Red. And all she wants to do is paint Wonderland red. And at the time that she wanted to paint Wonderland red, she didn't even know how she was going to be able to do it. We open up The Rise of Red with this beautiful ballad called Red. Of course, it was an introductory song to who she was, and everybody fell in love with it. It was one of the catchiest Descendants songs ever written. We had a chance to be a part of her story, and we really felt a part of her story in the opening moments of The Rise of Red. And then she meets Chloe Charming, the daughter of Cinderella and Prince Charming, and it was so iconic seeing the original Cinderella and Prince Charming returning from 1997, and seeing Malia Baker bring that character to life working alongside such icons as Brandy and Rita Ora. The thing that I've always appreciated with this cast is how close they are with each other and how they be there for each other every step of the way. They're always there for each other every step of the way, and that's something I've very closely admired and paid particular attention to. Because we never really saw this with any Disney Channel or Disney Plus original movie. We never saw a cast become this close. And that's what makes movie productions such as Descendants of Zombies so special, are these casts are so close and seemingly inseparable. And that's always something I wanted to encourage. If you have the chance to be friends with somebody or to hold on to friendships, you really should. Because you only have so many opportunities to really experience these moments. And the moments that we've lived through with Descendants of Zombies are truly unforgettable moments. Moments such as the Worlds Collide tour, when you were taking selfies of yourself with your phone, posting them on social media. You had these beautiful outfits. And I have to tell you guys, I must say, you guys really glowed. And you should never let anybody take those feelings away from you, because they were truly breathtaking feelings that we all had a chance to be a part of. We've truly had a chance to be a part of something special. And these moments are moments that we are never ever going to forget, and moments that I've had so much fun being a part of while encouraging these moments to keep on happening. Because you only have one life to live. And the thing about a lifetime is we never seem to know how much time we have. We're here one moment and we're gone the next. And what it comes down to are the legacies we leave behind. And often what I've wanted to ensure is that your favorite stars will leave behind legacies. Even if it meant I had to create over 1,000 commentaries on Descendants of Zombies, which I really had the time of my life doing and recording. It takes hours to produce these videos, more hours than I've ever chosen to admit to. But again, I've had the time of my life. Even if it meant I had to move into a residency near a soda plantation in a chemical plant, I've had the time of my life bringing these stories to life and keeping them alive for thousands of people. Really 10.5 million of you. There are 10.5 million people who look up Descendants of Zombies videos on YouTube, on TikTok, on various other social media platforms, too many to mention. So because there are 10.5 million people who love Descendants of Zombies with all their hearts, and the ratings are insurmountable, and the reviews are absolutely incredible and truly breathtaking, oftentimes leaving us at a loss for words, these are moments that we really need to cherish. And if we're going to say anything at all about Descendants of Zombies, we should say something nice. We should offer people encouragement and incentive to keep on pushing forward with their own dreams. Because everybody has a version of a dream, and everybody has a version of their own story and how they want it told and how they want it received and how they want it responded to. There are people out there who dream of being famous. And I have this to say to each and every one of you. Being famous never comes easy, and it's always a constant struggle. But if you believe you have a chance of becoming famous and you believe in yourself enough, the sky is really the limit. And there's no really limit that you can really get to because you can just keep on pushing forward. But as has often been said over time and over the years, the sky is really the limit, which means the possibilities are endless. So when it comes to a universe such as Descendants of Zombies, there are so many characters that we've already met, but still so many characters that we have yet to meet. And I feel so honored to be a part of their story. And I feel so excited to find out where we're headed from here, because nobody really knows the definite direction. We know that Red and Chloe supposedly have created a new villain, and for the first time ever, Maddox Hatter is evil. So his appreciation of life will finally be understood and found out about in Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland. We know Red has created a sister as one of the many consequences of time travel. She's played by Leomani Segura, who kind of just shows up and says, "Hey everyone, my name's Pink," and now Pink is having fun in the Perfect Princess music video. That music video has received so many reviews. It was noticed that Kylie Control wasn't a part of it, and she missed being a part of it. She said that during the Disney Upfront expedition where they were premiering Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland and getting everybody fired up. The gowns on the red carpet were beautiful, but the thing that Kylie Control often regretted was not being a part of the Perfect Princess music video. I don't think it was ever intended for her to be a part of it because, again, it was introducing us to Pink. So that is Pink's introductory ballad into this franchise. And I'm really excited to see where we go with Pink's character, because this could be really setting us up for a passing of the torch moment. I did realize, or noticed a comment rather, that Malia Baker made during the PR interview. She said that Pink was really going to take over this future that she had forthcoming. So because they think and they believe that Pink is going to take over the future, we have a lot to be excited about, and this could be really setting us up for a passing of the torch moment. Now, while some people may never agree with Pink having the torch passed to her from Red, I do believe that this will secure the futures of the franchises, and we could be setting ourselves up for a fourth or a fifth movie or movies beyond that, and storylines beyond belief. So because it could be setting us up for storylines beyond belief, we have something to really hold on to, and we should never really drink the proverbial Kool-Aid that critics and reviewers and oftentimes journalists are trying to get us to drink and accept. They're trying to get us to come to terms with how this franchise is changing, and I do agree with that, because as the times change, as fans, we too have to change with the times. And as often as difficult as that may seem to be for a lot of people, that's what makes this franchise so fun to be a part of. And I have never felt more excited to be a part of something so special like I've had the chance to be a part of with all of you. Descendants of Zombies has held a very special place in my heart for many years, and it will continue to for many years to come, because Descendants of Zombies is what's cool. It's either Descendants of Zombies or die for a lot of people. You know, there are people who have encouraged me to keep on moving forward with these videos because they love them so much. And I have no unearthly idea why. I've just had so much fun being here, putting on display all my Disney nostalgic characters and all these wonderful moments that we had the chance to be a part of from whatever era, regardless of whatever era we came from, and we proudly represent it. I've been a part of every generation of Disney in every era, from the Disney Renaissance era to the early days of Disney. I remember when the very first Disney World was ever constructed, and movies like Toy Story, Nightmare Before Christmas, and A Bug's Life were some of the most popular movies from Disney and Pixar when they were teaming up. And then I think by 2006, Disney had acquired the rights to Pixar. They had also acquired the rights to ABC, and so much happened for Disney so quickly, and still so much is happening for Disney. So as a result of so much happening for Disney with Disney Upfront and D23, D23.com has all the news that you need concerning Descendants of Zombies, and this podcast really has become the official podcast of Descendants of Zombies, because Disney is never going to create an official Descendants of Zombies podcast for you guys. So as a result, I've got a lot of pressure on my shoulders to create videos for you guys, because I wanted to give you the best. And I'm hoping that someone out there feels the same way. I know I sound like a broken record and I tell the same stories over and over again, but the thing you got to realize are there are 10.5 million people who may have never heard these stories. And I've loved telling these stories, because the key to developing an understanding and appreciation for your audience is how you can tell these stories and how you find time in appreciating the stories that you can tell. And I really have had the time of my life telling these stories and sharing with you my life-changing experiences. because this really was a life-changing experience for me, something I never imagined would have ever happened for me. So thank you so much for allowing me to be part of both your world and your story, because being a part of both your worlds and your stories have been so special to me and will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. I love you guys so much, man, for your continuous love and support, and I hope you keep it coming and showing it for me for many years to come, because honestly, I would have never been able to go through with this or do any of this without your love and support. Thank you guys so much from my heart to yours. From wherever you hear my voice this morning, which it is really early here, or from wherever you may be watching these videos, thank you so much for always and forever having a very special place in your heart for Descendants of Zombies, Disney-related content, and for me, because these franchises will forever and always remain with me and hold a special place in my heart for many years to come. Thank you so much for having watched these videos.